loud? It's too loud. No? It's okay because I yell. Anyway, JavaScript Streaming, a quick glimpse into an AI-optimized future. Buzzword check. I have streaming, Qwik, AI. OK, awesome. We can start. OK. To those of you who don't know, my talks always start with a warm-up. So we'll do something special. We'll do, first of all, just let's talk of the day. We need to raise up the energy. So let's, when my hand will be this low, I want you to clap very politely, like a very quiet night. And when I get to this level, I want you to shout as if it was a Britney Spears concert or something like that, OK? So let's try it. Let's try it. OK, awesome. Good vibes. Nice. OK, next, something very simple, a Mexican wave, OK? So we start from there. Everybody do like in a soccer field, OK? All the way, there. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, nice. You added the sound. Awesome. Good crowd. OK, awesome. So who am I? I'm Shai Reznik. I'm the core team lead for the firm Qwik, which we'll talk about. And I run Hires.io, which is, we make web development fun and efficient. It's a consultancy and training company, architecture, performance, testing, and all that stuff. But today I want to talk about the future. So the future, for me, it's not necessarily just about the tech. It's also about philosophy and the foundation of our technology. So what is a philosophy? It's a guiding principle for behavior. It's what makes us, I like the compass because it lets us decide what to choose when we design our code. And what is a foundation? It's the core design that supports everything else. It's simple terms. So it's like the building blocks, right, or the infrastructure for our framework, our tool, our library, our app. So I think that the combination of these two lead to a better future faster. And that's why I want to share in this talk. And in order to make future predictions, it's important to analyze repeating patterns. And for that, we need to know a little bit of history. OK, so let's start with the story. I will try and share my. It doesn't like that. OK, I will switch it. OK, that's better. OK. So I will share my personal story, OK? And through that, I will try to, share a bit of history as well. So in the year 2021, I was talking with Mishko Hevery, who created Angular. And we're friends since I gave him in 2015 a funny T-shirt in a YouTube talk called NG-Watt in NG-Conf. And I made fun of the choice in AngularJS for words like transclusion and all that stuff. And we had a meetup, Google Meet talk, and he told me about this thing called Qt. And I was like, what is that? He said, oh, it's inspired by Wiz. And I was like, what? And I was like, it's the coolest thing ever. And started explaining stuff to me, like all the technical details and all the stuff. And I was like, yeah, if you take JavaScript and manually extract it into files and manually name them and put everything pointers from the HTML, it's like a virtual machine. You put, if you do all this code, you get a great user experience, OK? And I was like, wow, that sounds very innovative, Mishko. And he said, cool, so you want to write a blog or do videos about it? And I was like, yeah. I wasn't sure. I had lots of stuff, but I had this feeling. I remember when we talked, I had this feeling like an intuition of something is not right here. And what is intuition? Intuition is taking all of our past experience, and condensing it into one decision, right? It's like, AI, right? An AI model or a context, and we usually use it for one specific thing, right? All this capability, right? You know Bombardino Crocodilo? You know, who knows what the hell is that, okay? I just learned about that. That apparently is viral, okay? And it says something to young people. Okay, I'm old. And by the way, this is not AI generated. Let that sink, okay? Anyway, so my intuition, okay, when I talked with him was bad. And let me share like the inside of my mind what happened during this intuition. So I might look young, as I said, but I'm old, okay? And I started coding web development from the 90s, doing static pages in HTML, moving to multi-page apps with the old SSR server-side rendering with ASP and PHP, and that I call it like generation 1, where you request a route, it generates like the template plus data into an HTML, and you can, like, this is what we did in the 90s, okay? We did, websites about Barney the dinosaur. Okay, so next, we added a bit of JavaScript on top of it without Ajax, so we couldn't communicate with the stuff. I call it, like, generation 1.5 because it wasn't, like, a big change. Then I moved to rich internet application with Flash and Flex, and then single-page apps with Backbone, and then to AngularJS. I became like an early adopter of AngularJS and React, and I call this generation 2 because we shifted towards like a single-page app, everything in the client rendering, and then we moved to hydration-based app with like Next.js pioneering this new server-side rendering, and I call it generation 2.5. Just my naming, just my help me like keep things. It's not like in Wikipedia or something like that. But what is the evolution driver for this like jumping generations of web? The first one is user experience, and for the purpose of this talk is how fast can the user reach their goal? Okay, it's a more complicated topic, but for this is that. So we had the bumpy road, okay? In the beginning, we had like, as the app became bigger, we needed more database load, so, the user needed to wait. Then that's why we moved to, single-page apps, just to make sure, okay, I know you don't like single-page apps. So we wanted to give a user like a desktop experience, right? Not like to wait for every route and all that stuff. But again, when app became bigger, it increased the I know I forgot something. That's okay. I want to share just for my to know what worked, what didn't work, which joke worked, stuff like that. Laugh, yeah. Okay. Hey. All right. So apps became bigger. We increased the browser load, right? And we waited, and users usually saw this and still see, right? And contemplated their life decisions while they're like going into social security website. Then we increased like the performance with hydration-based apps, which is the new server-side rendering. So on the left, you see the SSR. On the right, you see the SPA. And basically, it gave us a snapshot of how the page would look like, but without interactivity. And again, as app become bigger, we lose this interactivity, time to interactivity. So the users might see something, they click on stuff, but nothing works. Or they fill up the form, and then it doesn't submit. And they are like, what the hell? OK, so this is because of hydration. Who knows what's hydration? OK, half the audience. Nice, so let's explain. So in the new SSR model, we have the browser, we request a route, and this time instead of PHP or server-side language, we use the same framework from the browser in the server to render the page or play. And then we send the HTML. Now it's the client template plus data, and on the client, we present the HTML, but we need to re-render again on the client, replay and reroute all the stuff the framework like forgot on the server. We need to remind it, and we need to pay this cost. And then we have a working app. And this is called hydration. It's rehydrating back the app. And while it's doing it, the user cannot click on anything. So as you see, every change of the generations was because of this app size. Because size matters, or app size matters, right? So the bigger the apps, the sadder the users, or something like that, okay? All right, but user experience is not enough. What else do we need? What? Developer experience, 10 points. Okay, awesome. DX, okay. How fast can the developer reach your goal, right? Like, it's the same, it's a mirror. And as a mirror, it like contradicts, or like it has negative correlation. We saw every time we adopt a new technology, we have a drop in the developer experience because of manual optimization, amongst other things. For example, we love NPM, right? Right? But what's the problem with NPM? Not modules, right? So, and I don't know about you, but when I need to manually optimize my code and to make sure that everything is like, with a lazy load, with a await import and all this stuff, I go nuts, okay? And that's why I work from home. Anyway, so what we learned is the bigger the apps, the sadder the users, and that leads to manual optimization, that leads to sad developers, right? So that's what I realized over the years. Like, developers care about user experience as long as it doesn't hurt their developer experience. Clap if you agree. Okay. 70% of the room, the other 30 don't care. Okay, awesome. No, we care. So back to the conversation with Mishko, when I was like, yeah, I'm not sure. What was I missing? Okay, yeah. What was I missing with what he showed me, do you think? That led me to say, yeah, but no. What? Oh, they're just talking with themselves. Okay, awesome. Who won the guess? It's okay, you get 10 points. Show me the code, okay. What, performance? No, he showed me that it's the best performance ever if I do all this stuff. So what was missing? DX. Great point, like 20 points for you. Okay, awesome. And brave soul. So I said I will help. He invited me to the Qwik GitHub repository, but I didn't really have time. We chatted every couple of months in the Discord and such. And yeah. Oh, by the way, who's from France here? Okay. Oh, Jean, right? The only person. So do you mind tell this like Bob Sponge 1 year later?
1 year later.
Thank you very much. Give him a big round of applause. Okay, awesome. So, thank you, John. I said if you want to move closer, you will be needed. Okay, so 1 year later, I was super busy working on an effective Cypress testing course with the business, employees, and clients, and giant testing course, as I said, an 11,000 developer, JavaScript developer community that I run. And wife and kids that are asking me, like, where are you coming home? Because I need help with the kids. And I was like, oh, damn it. I forgot we have a meetup, a remote one with Mishko. This is me with the beard. And we have talked, now it's called Qwik, but we invited, I forgot. And she said, okay, don't worry about it, like stay at home. God bless you, Noga, my wife. Okay, awesome. So in this talk, he showed the following code, something similar like that. And he showed like all the things that he talked about last year, but now without any manual coding of the stuff. He said like, well, you just write this code and you get the best performance. And I was like looking at it and I was like, what? And he said, yeah, so apparently Mishko got joined by Manuel Almeida and Adam Bradley that created Stencil, if you know, and worked on Ionic. And they, and it's courtesy of Builder.io, who invested, the time and money in this framework. And Manuel Almeida, one of the most brilliant developers that I know, looked at the manual stuff that Mishko showed, and he said, hell no. I'm not going to do that. I will write a compiler. And Mishko has trauma from compilers because he worked long years on Angular, okay? So he said, no, no compilers. And Manu said, okay, we'll call it an optimizer. But it's a compiler. Okay. So the optimizer looks at these dollar signs, okay? And it's built in, as you can see from the import statement. You cannot like make a decision if you want just a component, okay? It has to come with a dollar sign. And it's a hint both to the developers and the compiler, optimizer, to know what to split, where to split the boundary. Meaning, every time it sees a dollar sign, it takes the closure function afterwards and extracts it into its own file. And it does something that was unheard of before they developed it, which is to give names to anonymous functions, okay? So you could retrieve it, and if you know what lexical scope is basically pointing to a variable that is declared on the function above you, retrieve that lexical scope. Like, think about it if you needed to do it yourself to extract some. How would you take all the scope of the variables outside to a different file? How would you revive it and all this stuff? So they solved that problem. And that's what made the developer experience much better. So, okay, I told you. That's okay, I'm continuing.
Several days later.
No, don't clap. It wasn't in French, okay.
Several days later.
Okay, it's more Frenchy. Okay, awesome. I will keep the energy up like that. Okay, several days later, I was, trying it out because I got excited. I took, some personal side project and moved, created a Qwik version, a Qwik version, and I put it in the page speed score just to check, the performance. And it has JavaScript and, contact us form and stuff like that. And I looked at it, and I saw something like that. And I was like, how the hell? I have JavaScript. How do I get, 99? And then I started getting this feeling in my body. Something, something made me, go, oh, joy, okay? And I had this aha moment, and again, wait, now I get it. What Mishko has been trying to tell in this talk, Qwik, the philosophy behind Qwik, which is automatic optimization. You write your app, and the tooling does all the hard work for you. You don't need to think about it. So I remember in saying Qwik, create instantly interactive JavaScript apps at any scale without effort, and it sounded like marketing and stuff. And then I realized, okay, instantly interactive, so it's interactive no matter how big the app. It doesn't do the iteration thing, so to wait for it. At any scale, it could be, a giant, a small website, a giant enterprise app. It doesn't matter. You don't need to do any special stuff because the architecture is the same. And without effort, that's the automatic part. So then with this aha moment, I had this moment of intuition again. Okay, well, remember the large LLM with the ballerina cappuccina? Okay, what the hell is that? Okay. So back into my mind again, okay, what I felt in that moment. So there was a transition period back then, 2022. We all could feel, everyone who were here from the 90s could feel it, that something is changing. Something is not good enough. People are working on different solutions, trying to figure out the solutions for these problems. And everybody kept asking, what is next? What is the generation 3? Okay, how would it look like and such? And looking at this, negative correlation between the developer experience and user experience, and knowing that we're not going back, right? We're not going back to the old days of server-side rendering, the old way without JavaScript and such. It needs to be something that combines them. And looking at this philosophy of automatic optimization, and when the size doesn't matter, then the user experience can go up and the developer experience can improve without them affecting each other. That's what I felt. I felt this has a potential. I didn't know if this will solve it, but I just had this intuition that it could break this correlation. Because if we have the same instant load time, like O of 1 algorithm, no matter the app size, that's great. As a web developer, that's what I want. So zoom out. OK. Again, I still had all of these on my mind, plus a wife that was about to divorce me if I would take yet another project. But I found myself reaching out to Mishko again and telling him, hey, I'd like to help. So he said, great. So I became a community DevRel, which is a title I invented because I wasn't an employee of Builder, and I wanted to help build the community because of my experience in building communities. And I wanted for the Qwik community to be friendly, supportive, collaborative, and fun. That's, I think, the best way to learn stuff together and to build stuff together. So that's what I did, and created an amazing community, and with a program for top contributors called JSHeroes and such. And, oh my God, next time, just come to the first. Okay.
22 years later. 2 years later.
Okay, give it. God damn it. Okay. 2 years later. That's how you do it. I will teach you French. Okay, so thanks to Builder.io, they donated. 2 years later, they decided, OK, we're going to all in. They created a visual copilot. It required more resources from them, so they couldn't invest more into developing Qwik. But they were generous enough to contribute Qwik as a community-driven project. Okay, so me and Mishko became the stewards of the project, and we took the JSHeroes with us and created a former RFC process and governance model and community management and all the stuff that is needed for a truly open community-driven project, just like Vue, Vite, and such. So then I volunteered, because it was an open project, I volunteered my time to transition from a DevRel to a core team lead, and start managing weekly meetings, and we increased the team from 1, basically, to more. Okay, so these are the wonderful people in the team, super brilliant developers, really passionate about performance and making sure that every little bit counts, and great people to work with. Okay, and newsflash, big companies started using Qwik. We knew that it will take time, once we flesh out the ecosystem project and all this stuff, but Cloudflare is using Qwik in production, for the dashboard in some of the places, for the rewrite of the dashboard. Honda is using Qwik. SportVM, I don't know if you know, a big e-commerce sports in Europe site, and more. We have now a bigger ecosystem. Thank you for the ecosystem, yeah. And Mishko actually flew to my office, and we recorded a free introduction, a quick introduction course for Qwik. And you can find it at qwikschool.com. Doesn't cost you anything, and it goes deeper into the concept that we are going to talk about today. So I wanted to take a very short thing from that course and just share it as context for the next part of the talk. So what makes Qwik different, other than what's the optimizers doing behind the scenes? So we talked about foundation. So how does it look like? And enter JavaScript Streaming. Okay, so in the old days, we want to watch a movie. What did we do? Download the movie, right? Legally, of course, right? In a e-mule, I don't know, something like that, right? But what do we do today? Streaming, 30 points. Okay. We stream. We don't need to wait for all the gigabytes to download, right? We can just click on the end of the movie and it starts playing. So JavaScript Streaming is like, Netflix or YouTube for your app. So video streaming, like the parts we do segmentation. We cut it into segment, not we, but the technology behind the scenes when they stream video, and then the user gets like a snapshot of the first frame, and then get like buffering, right? We see like the little thing goes, right? So we could like buffer the next couple of parts. That's how JavaScript Streaming works, basically. I cut it down into 4 stages as well. Segmentation, smart first frame. It's not just a dumb HTML, it's smart HTML. We have buffering, and we have a new term called lazy execution. Now, I will need a volunteer, a brave volunteer, to come to the stage. Who wants? You, all the way from the back, give him a big round of applause. You don't know what you got yourself into. What's your name? Josh. Josh, nice to meet you. Why do you laugh? It's his name. It's not okay to laugh. Wait, something happened that I didn't see. Okay. So Josh, your job is to be a mime. But I didn't pack the right costume, so you will need to wear this. You know where's Waldo? That's, yeah, just put it, okay. Yeah, okay, so while he's getting dressed, what we'll do, in order to make it more memorable, I decided to do an illustration of these stages, so we'll remember them better. That's how we learn better. So Josh here will do miming of these stages, and we'll have to come up with it on the spot now and see how it will handle it. Really? Big round of applause. Nice. Okay. That's okay. All righty. Bo, come to the. All right. All right. So, Josh, whenever you hear, or when I do or something like that, and you hear a segmentation, let's think about what we'll do as a movement or whatever to represent cutting the video into pieces or something like that. Okay, that's great. Nice. Okay, so a freeze frame, what we'll do? This? Okay, awesome. Remember, you need to remember that. Buffering. That's buffering? Oh. You want that to be buffering? Okay, the audience has decided. I don't know, maybe my English is not that great, but okay, awesome, buffering. And lazy execution. Okay. Drop dead. Okay, awesome. So lazy, okay, so segmentation. Wow, you remember. Smart first frame. Okay. Segment buffering. Okay, don't get a heart attack. Okay, awesome. We don't have insurance. And lazy execution. Okay, awesome. Give him a big round of applause. Let's begin. Okay, so breaking into segmentation. Okay, awesome. So this happens at build time. We take the app, the optimizer. This is what it does. It like looks for the dollar signs and break it into pieces. Now, smart first frame. Okay, awesome. It happens on server time. We render again, right? Playing the, rendering the app, and then we pause it. And no, not now. It's okay. You passed the test. And we produce an HTML, but it's not any kind of HTML. We send it to the client. It's not a dumb HTML. It's a smart HTML. Okay, it has all the reactivity information. Sorry, the event listeners. It knows about where are the components and stuff that usually that's why you need hydration for. But it like snapshot it like a virtual machine, that you play on a different computer. And then we move to buffering. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Arnold Schwarzenegger. We got to get out of here. Okay. So just make sure they have water for you afterwards. Okay, awesome. So buffering. To the browser cache, we start buffering on a separate thread all the segments or bundles that we need for that page specifically in the background. So that's buffering, and then lazy execution. Okay, awesome. This happens on the client time. Now we have all of the bundles and segments in our cache, so we don't need to download them. But when the user starts interacting with only the events that were declared by the Qwik code, like the Qwik developer that wrote the app, then when it interacts, it then only executes the code, which is in the cache. So that's why we call it lazy execution and not lazy loading, right? One last thing is, have you ever heard the term resumability? Okay, like 10 people. Okay, awesome. So sometimes if you will hear resumability, it means like the concept of rendering on the server, pausing it into the HTML, and then doing the lazy execution. That's resuming the app. Okay, awesome. Oh, you're a professional. We need to do talks together. Okay. And that's resumability. Okay. First of all, give a big round of applause for Josh. Great job. Great job. Yeah, but leave it here. It's not mine. Okay. Yeah, I took it from my child. He doesn't know. I took the wrong bag. Okay. No? Okay, yeah. Heart attack. Okay, awesome. Wait, you thief? Yeah, that too. Yeah. Did I disconnect? No. I'm talking, I'm hearing. Okay, that's okay. Awesome. That was fun, I guess. That's, first time I'm trying with this movement. Okay, so hydration versus JavaScript streaming. Basically, hydration has a glass ceiling, a cap that it reaches, and it cannot move beyond that because of the way things are written. And JavaScript streaming on that specific, loading time performance, can scale up. It's an O of 1. So that's because of the different foundation. So it's not like you can take the hydration technology and just sprinkle some like lazy execution on top or JavaScript streaming on top, and it will be the same. You need to rewrite the entire architecture of the framework and the tool in order to achieve that. So that's the difference between the foundations. Now begins the crazy part, okay? And that I literally just finished. So up until now, it was a talk that I already gave, and from this point on, first time on stage, okay? So yeah. So the talk I already gave, I gave a year and a half ago in JS World in Amsterdam, called JavaScript Streaming, a quick glimpse into the future without AI. But back then, people liked two things, amongst other, but the favorite things were the instant demo that I did, which was comparing hydration versus JavaScript streaming with apps anonymously, so not to bash on any framework, and just to showcase how you take a simple page, you load it, with hydration takes X amount of time, and with Qwik it was instantaneous, like no matter how big and such. So that's one thing. That's like me with the magician custom, okay, showing that in Amsterdam, making a fool of myself. And the second thing was inspired by my friend Benji Greenbaum from the Node core team, which gave a talk about like the state of tooling for 2030. This is his vision was. And in this talk, he shows some things that I later realized that, maybe we can do it in Qwik, and to give Qwik superpowers. So that's what I said in that talk, okay? And we repeat it, it's very short. So remember breaking into segments? Josh, even if you're there, you need to do the okay. No, kidding. He's doing. So segmentation in build time, we break it into pieces. And then we thought, what if we can do the buffering, but because we have all this information, we can have predictive buffering. Meaning, if we can, we know the execution path, we know all the functions that are getting clicked, even the function and their dependency function and all the stuff automatically. So we can collect anonymous statistics, just the hash of the function, not anything identifiable and stuff like that. Collect it and save it into a database or something like that, and then run a statistical model with the power of Qwik and Vite, and produce more like predictive bundles. So bundles that represent the common user journey of the app. And that way, they won't hit like a cache miss. They always hit the cache. So that's like the idea that I presented back then. And And then I said, guess what? We already have it. It's called Qwik Insights. And Mishko, which is a real-life LLM, okay, ChatGPT, coded it in 3 weeks, okay? And we had this ability by using all this information, because Qwik was designed also in mind. And this was like, a demo that I showed, like all the correlation between bundles and difficult stuff like that I don't understand. But this gave us the ability to predict which bundle will get buffered next. But wait, there's more, I said back then. And I said, what if we could take these anonymous statistics and could do other stuff from them, like using an AI, generative AI or something like that, to produce automated tests from that. Or we could use a different model and do actual dead code elimination, right? Like, because we know which functions are not getting called. And we can do maybe other stuff, auto refactoring, A/B testing, and more. And that was supposed to be the end of today's talk. Okay, what I did then, same talk that I give for a year and a half. But that starts the crazy part. Okay, last week, literally, May 23rd, we released Qwik 1.14. And we completely changed the way we buffer stuff. And we changed it from service worker to link module preload, which is much more efficient and compiles the code in the browser and all that stuff. Now, this change basically completely ruined my demo that I was counting to do here, and that's why I didn't prepare anything until last week. Because, why? Basically, it made it that apparently, after changing it from the service worker and I tried to do the demo, I realized that, and I talked with the team as well, while transitioning and debugging it, we realized that Chrome had a bug. It has like a reported bug on service workers, because when I did the demo, I put the DevTools on slow 3G or something like that to throttle the network to show like a a slow network. But Chrome has a bug, apparently, that I didn't know about, that ignores the service worker. So while I was showing all the rest of the hydration apps, Qwik was instant because, guess what? It wasn't throttled. So obviously, it was amazing, okay? And people clap, and then when I realized that, it was a week ago, and still have like client work to do, and I was like, oh my God, I cannot show that now that I know it. So Qwik is still much faster, but instead of being instant, it will be like, I don't know, 3 seconds, and compared to the, 10 seconds, 20 seconds on just a small input, right? But in order to showcase, I need to create like the entire app on both cases, and I don't have time for that, and I would just have to make you wait a long time, like to see how much time it takes with hydration in a real-life app. So just to prove, that streaming is better than downloading. Like I try to think, what do I do now? And one option was to pretend, okay? Like, hey, I could just like put like an older version and show the same demo, but I'm not a liar. So I had 2 more options, basically. The other one is to bore you with like a 2 minutes wait of like, okay. And the third one was I could go for something crazier. You remember the statistic collection that I told you, and training an AI model and producing an automated test from that without writing a single line of code manually to do it? Yeah, I went for that in 3 days. Because I had work and I have like to prepare stuff and I have kids and I have all the stuff, and I was freaking out. I said, what if I can do it with AI? Right? Because it upgrades our skills. Can I really do it? I have no clue. You know what? I just told myself, okay. I already use it for other stuff, right? Ballerina Shai Puccina. I might as well use it for that. So then I was nervous. I looked at my wife and told her, I think I'm going to try it. And worst case, I will never get invited to JSHeroes again. So I said, YOLO, okay. And went for it, okay. So I started 3 days ago thinking, where do I even start? I have no idea about this stuff. I thought it will take months. We spent a lot of time working on V2 and 14 and all that stuff. I didn't have time to research that. And I'm using AI, like Cursor and stuff like that, but I never know, I don't know about embeddings or MCPs or like buzzwords and stuff like that. So where do I even start? So I prepared like a list of what I think I had a rough idea about. And I thought, like, what are the ingredients for like a quick AI? I probably need a chat interface, right? I need communication with Qwik somehow. I need probably maybe like better quick insights, because I don't know if what we collect is proper for testing yet. And I need to generate some test code, and I need to train the model. I don't know, I didn't know. And when I talked about it last year and in my talks, it made sense for me in theory, because if we have the statistic, we probably can do it. But I had no idea if we can actually do it. I just said we might. So then I thought about it. I said, well, Cursor kind of solves some of it. It has a chat interface, and it can generate the code. So great. Don't need to think about that. And then I went to AI. I opened lots of tabs, as you can see, and this was multiplied by 5 windows with Grok and ChatGPT and all the models, thinking, not thinking, everything. And I just copy-paste the prompt and saw what each answers and did a deduction. So that's the prompt. But basically, I asked it for a plan. How can I do it? And I wrote to it, I'm not an expert. I don't know, I'm not sure if an MCP even, related to it. And it gave me, a plan to start, exploring and such. And I realized that, oh, I can use cursor to touch like the quick insights code that Mishko wrote that I never looked at. So I don't know, it's like drizzle and database stuff, and I don't know. So I used cursor to help me with that. But then I needed to communicate. And then I learned about MCP. Who knows about MCP? Okay, Model Context Protocol. Okay, I saved you the letters. That's like the new hype word. But I had no idea what I can use it for. So basically, the simplest explanation of MCP that I could think of was this. It's an API like REST. How? In REST, we have queries and we have actions, right? Like we query for stuff and then we can mutate the data or like do some tests and stuff like that. That's basically MCP, but for AI. How come? Like cursor can do queries, use like this, shared language to query for stuff and to also see what are all the options that it could query for and could perform tasks, actions. That's basically MCP. It's an API, a shared common language, a standard for AI tools and generative AI tools and such. So the way you declare it is using the SDK. You give it a name, you give it a description, and you give it the logic, like the function with the logic. You have other ways. I saved you all that. Just it's important for like the next explanation, just so you know the structure. But that's basically how you define the tool, and then cursor can look at the list of the tools and see, oh, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. I know that now. Now if the user will ask me something, I know that I could look there for the answer if it resembles like the name that I need to. So then I wanted to move fast, so I looked for Vite MCP. Of course, I saw the Nux MCP and Vite plugin MCP by Anthony Fu. Every time I look for something to create, Anthony Fu was there like a few months before me, okay? And we all thank him for lots of stuff, like Vitest and, lots of stuff on Vite, and great person. So I used this tool. Along the way, I found a bug. I tried to solve it. He rejected my, I didn't do a good job there, but I need to, after the conference, to redo it, but try to help as much as I can as well on the way while I was stressed out by not preparing. But basically, that's how you declare, and that makes the queries like, oh, now I understand, like, I can use cursor as it could look at, like, if I expose an MCP server from the Qwik Insight, it could look, oh, I can query Qwik Insights for information that I need. Okay, so that's the connection there. Then get back the answers. So that solved the communication with Qwik. And another question that I had about training. Like, I didn't know, I asked friends, like, do I train the model? And say, what are you, crazy? Like, training a model takes months, and you need lots of money. And it's like, okay, so how do I tell it, like, I need to tweak it so it will understand what I'm saying? Like, if I give it the Qwik Insights, how would you know to generate the test from it and all that stuff? So then I look at the thing here, and I said, oh, there's a description. So I could just write in the description. Just like, hey, be a friend, write a test, okay? But more thoroughly with like example of how it could work and such. But then I ran into a problem. Like I did that. I ran like the first time, and it generated stuff. But then it generated like an expect to have URL with like a colon ID. And I was like, oh no, this is static. It will fail. And of course, the test failed. And I was like, oh, that's an impossible problem, because there's stuff that you cannot analyze statically. You need a dynamic environment. So what do I do? But then, MCP to the rescue. Okay, a couple of months ago, Playwright released their Playwright MCP. Okay, and Playwright MCP basically allows Cursor to have the ability to open via Playwright a real browser, explore it, do stuff, read the DOM, the live DOM, read the URL, read everything, and get all this information back to the context from the model context protocol, and decide stuff from it, right? Like, so that basically gives the ability, if I connect it to Cursor, to do that stuff and get the return. So then this becomes dynamic, so it can actually see the URL. And great success. You see it's purple like the MCP. Okay, so that solved the training part for me, or tweaking the model to what I needed to do, like don't add this stuff or ignore this stuff, and just basic stuff. So I actually got to the end point of this last afternoon, like yesterday's afternoon, with not really a working example. And then I realized that because I was maxing out my cursor tokens and fast things, that's a tip, by the way. If you need to test MCPs, you can choose a free model, like Gemini something, and it's a free, so you can like do the test for it, and then when you need real capabilities like Sonnet 4 or something like that, you can switch, and then it's like a cheap, way to get around it. So I realized that I used the wrong model, and then I put it on Sonnet 4, and it didn't work, because my operating system, of course, I bought a new laptop, put Linux on it, and nothing worked, and everything crashed. So then I worked all night until now, just before I came here. I tested it once. I have zero clue if it will work again, or if it will deviate because there's a random factor. So I'm kind of shaky now, but I'm ready to see some magic. All right. Okay, so I created an app. I, again, used AI for it. I didn't do, I'm lazy. The app is called, let's do, Stack Underflow. Okay, it's for, type a problem and hope for the worst, basically. You have questions like, how do I center my life with CSS? Why is my code sad? And stuff like that. You can click on stuff, and then you can downvote. Okay, and downvote and stuff like that, or upvote and upvote. So that's the app. I wanted it to be more sophisticated, more stuff, more that, but I didn't have the time. So what I did, I wanted to show you how I connected everything. So first of all, let me close this. This is the inside component for the Qwik app. I won't show you the Qwik app because we don't have time, like how it's built and all that stuff. But you can watch the other lecture. I show them how to add the design system and all that stuff and create your app. So that's the token for the database, basically, which I run here and here and here. And and I send it. Now, in order to declare what I need here in my app, I use the config file for MCP and said, here's the Qwik Insights URL, and this is with the token. And this is because I'm brilliant and installed NixOS, which is the hardest operating system ever to install on a laptop. I needed to find, that's half a day went on trying to find how to run the Playwright MCP on Nix. Okay, so that's basically the declaration there, and that's it from that side. Now I want to show you the Qwik side. So this is how I defined my MCP server. Basically, I took the insights key, and then I gave it a name. Do you see correctly? Do you want me to zoom in? Okay. Get most common Qwik user journey. Okay, that's the name of the tool. And then I started explaining what is the context. And of course, I used AI to help me generate the proper context, and gave it an example of what we collect. And I went into so many problems in the last 3 days of like, oh, it doesn't identify the right element. I need to add like the CSS path, and made a lot of changes, and I couldn't have done it in such a short time without AI, basically, helping it along the way with small tasks and continuous development. So then I explain, and yeah. And that's basically the important parts of the code. But this is how you connect the MCP and do all this stuff. Now this is this is just like an example of a component. And of course, the server is down. Let me refresh it. All right. Now the moment of truth. The Gemini 2.5 Flash. You see, this is the free model. Okay, don't use it for your test. Just for API debugging. You want the Cloud Sonnet, let me zoom in a bit. Let me leave it here. Okay. Right, ready? You see I did lots and lots of tests. I'm not sure if it will work. Oh, what, sorry, I forgot. What I did is I went basically to figure out if it works or not, and it didn't work for a long time. But just now, I went and did the following thing, basically. I went to the home page. Oops. Yep, I went to the home page. No, that's not what I wanted. OK. And it creates a session. So I went to the first question. I hit the upvote, and then the upvote on the answer. Lots of times, okay? And every time I deleted this thing, I went back, this, and literally I didn't plan it. That's why I forgot to show you that, and kept doing the same thing to train the database to collect the same statistics, because I hacked everything together, and it's a very simple implementation. Basically, it string the file, the number of actions, and compare strings and stuff like that. Not something sophisticated, just to prove the point. So that's the order of actions that it needs to get right and to generate the automated test for it. So now my only command is generate E2E test for Qwik insights. And yeah, I don't want it to kill me later, so please. Let's see, the moment of truth. Do you have any music? Okay, so it, wait, it shows it? It's waiting for the response. Let me zoom out a bit. Wait, let's see if drum roll. Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course, the server is down. Wait, I just paid for this message. Thank you, cursor. Let's try another one. Okay, maybe the please was. No, fuck it. Let me remove it. Sorry for. And I'll just remove it in editing. And now it's working. Let's see. Boom. On the belly, you can do like this. Okay, so it queries the MCP tool. It got the statistics. Okay, now it reads the player configuration file to know which command to run, where to find the test, directory, and such. It sees, I have an example test there, but I can show you, it's a very simple test just to test the title, okay? Okay, it examines the link component. It understands now the Qwik code and how it maps to the statistics, the hashes, because we have a file called QManifest, which is the Qwik manifest that is a map between the hash to the real, component. Because if you remember, Qwik, the optimizer, is extracting all the dollar signs. So from one file, you get multiple files. So you need to map them back to the original file in the source code for the developer experience, because you want to work on one file and not think, oh, I need to extract it manually and stuff like that. So it runs, okay, the preview server, which is like a simulating production server. Let's see, I don't know if it will work. It queries, it's, okay, preview. Now I can see the live DOM, it says, okay. So it actually it's running in the background. This is the Playwright MCP, a browser, and actually matches it with the set of commands that it needs to perform in order to understand how it behaves live compared to the source code. And, oh, yeah, I need to resume, of course, because it has like a limitation. Hopefully it didn't mess up. Okay, I can see the answer vote count changed from 0 to 1, so it means it upvoted. Awesome. The answer, so it went over the question already? Yeah, the question detail page. Based, okay, I can vote, okay, from -2 to -1. Let me generate the playwright test based on the user journey data and the interactions I observed. Okay, so it generated a test. Okay. Okay. But let's see, maybe it will mess it up like with the ID or something like that. Oh, I needed to prepare like a tension music or something like that now. We'll edit in the editing. Okay, generate already. You're killing me. I'm over the time. We need to finish. You see, it's not my fault. It's AI. Okay, so, oh, damn it, wait. Okay, so it messed up. Okay, it did the wrong command, so it found the right command to run. It runs a test. Okay, one pass. Okay, why generate? Okay, 3 failed. Wait, let's see if it's knowing what to do now. If it will, how many tests did it generate? What the hell? Dude, you're creating like maintenance work for me. Okay. So it's investigating, it's fixing the vote button count issue. So it realized that it made a mistake, the test doesn't pass, it reads the test error and corrects the test by itself. I have no idea if it will behave. Okay, so it updated the test. Okay, so I see questions and 1, which is great. Okay, generating the command. Okay. Thank you. Later. Oh, thank you. Okay. Oh, I probably moved to the slow request because I'm over the limit. Oh, no. Sorry for the... Okay. Do you think it will be worth it to say, run the test again? Okay, a bit, please. Okay, let's run the test. Maybe it's like stuck on. User wants, yeah, thank you. I wanted it yesterday. Okay, run. Oh, it has a timeout, so that's why they take it. But why did you create? You know what? No. I just want one test. Thank God for the free plan. I let it generate it. Okay, understood. Generates or removes the test, I don't know. Formats my hard drive. Okay. So the example test is, yeah, example. But this model won't be smart enough to know. Now, just to prove, okay, that's what happened when you code until the last moment. So this probably is stuck. So just to prove, let's see what it did, okay, first of all. So let's accept the file, and okay. So let me close this. So it looked at the headline, that is correct page. It actually clicked on the right link of the question. It then hover, okay, because it probably recorded that. It waited for the questions and clicked on the first question link. So it actually created like a selector, which is interesting. I have no idea. It's the first time I see it. Okay, and then so it took this locator. So it basically did a bad practice. What I wanted to do is to show you, I knew that this will happen. Want to show you the generated test that I had in my room, which looked like this. Get by role, get by role, get by role, which is more the correct way to do it. And basically, if we delete this, hopefully I'm deleting the right one, Journey, Quick Insights, this one, okay? Let's see if it's passing. I promise you this is what it generated. I never touched it. As I told you, I'm not a liar. Let's run the test, pnpm test e2e, okay? Boom, it passed. And that was my experience in the room, okay? And I will show you, because this was me in my hotel room, okay? Before I changed the shirt. And this was the test, the same test. So I got super excited, wrote my friends, and tried to run. So I learned a lot. I will share in my social media. The future, basically, we said, like, what's the next generation? I'm certain that the next generation will be AI optimized, no matter the technology. Actually, it's not the future. It's already here, as you can see. And it's a yin-yang, right? It has bad things with it, which means that we need to up our game. We need to learn more stuff, but we have the best teacher in the world. If I could do this in like 3 days, that's crazy. Like, I never thought that I would get to this point. As I said, the philosophy and foundation leads to a better future together, and the quiz philosophy is automatic optimization, and we collaborate with all the frameworks because we don't care about, oh, we are the best framework. This talk is not about that, okay? You can use your favorite framework and just explore other ideas as well, like we do, and we share lessons. So this is the Qwik philosophy. We want it to be the web's philosophy, right? We don't have to think about writing tests, like optimizing loading time and all that stuff. And the foundation in JavaScript streaming, and want, again, something similar to be in the web foundation. And there might be better solution, and we'll see. So this is the vision, one for all. Last week, we announced this tweet that broke my demo. And so this is not shaming. You're actually right. We're not good at updating on social media, but we did a lot of work in the past year. And next week, we'll release Qwik 2.0 beta with lots and lots of improvement. Especially, we rewrote the entire code for the new team to understand how to move faster, and we will move faster with AI. So, the journey just begins. Who are we? Like I told you, the team, we're not hiring because it's a community-driven project. We're welcoming, okay? So if you want to start contributing to open source, welcome to talk to me, to the team. Go to our Discord chat, and we'll help you get started. If you're worried you're not experienced enough, we will help you get on board, and AI is your friend, okay? This is the links. Thank you very much.